Hi, my name is Slade Custer, and I'm the development director here at Food to Power. I've been here for coming up on 4 years. In January, that'll be 4 years. And essentially, what I do here is I try to raise money to make sure that we have enough money to stay open, keep the lights on, doors open, staff paid. Yeah, so Food to Power, we are a grassroots nonprofit here in Colorado Springs, and our mission is to cultivate a healthy, equitable food system here in Colorado Springs. So kind of the way that I traditionally talk about this, the traditional philanthropic or nonprofit approach oftentimes to food insecurity is trying to mainly address the symptoms of food insecurity like hunger. And a lot of that's through food pantries and food banks. And while it does a really good job at alleviating the symptoms of food insecurity like hunger in the short term, it's not actually addressing any of the reasons for why people are standing in those free food lines in the first place. So essentially that's where we kind of fit in. We have a whole bunch of different programming that encompasses the entire food cycle, everything from cultivating healthy, nutritious soil, putting seeds in the ground, growing crops, harvesting it, helping people access that food, but then even then taking the food scraps, composting it to return the nutrients back to the soil. And then of course, education opportunities laced throughout. And so here at our offices, Hillside Hub, this is kind of like the physical embodiment of all that work. We have an urban farm right outside there. We have composting facilities, educational places, places to host food distributions, event spaces, staff offices, the whole works. We always host our annual fundraiser, the Harvest Celebration, in September. And so that was a situation where we didn't necessarily have it in the budget. We didn't have it in the work plan to do a really big wheelchair ramp, for example, but through simple Google searches and things like that, and then placing around a few calls, I did a little bit of research to get connected with someone who might be able to help us out for a more immediate need. And so after making several phone calls, it very quickly came to realization okay, yeah, Next Day Access kind of want to work with you all. I think the representative was Scott at the time, and just really good communication, really friendly. They came out, they helped us out, and they were able to sort out kind of a short-term situation of getting these really thick rubber mats that we were able to lay down for kind of like a makeshift wheelchair ramp. And so that was kind of the kickoff of the partnership. And then this year we launched the phase 2 capital campaign for the Hillside Hub. The first phase is really about kind of building the Hillside Hub out into certain iterations, just to kind of get a base model that we could start hosting programming through. And we kind of started to dream and envision what the more permanent assets on the exterior of the property would be. And then one of the things that came top of the list was a wheelchair ramp, because of the just need for the temporary ramp that we had last year. And so, yeah, just based off of how good of an experience it was to work with you all the first time, that kind of opened the door for having future conversations on the wheelchair ramp. And to say the least, it was just an incredible experience. I think one of the biggest things, is a lot of the wheelchair ramps, they were put on some flatter concrete, and they would have legs that would go up. And our situation wasn't really quite like that, because we had land that was excavated out to be able to put the ramp in. But still, despite it not necessarily being a copy and paste wheelchair ramp that was going in, you all were still really eager to work with us, really willing to work with us. And then the wheelchair ramp was able to be put in. It looks perfect. It's been used. It's just, yeah, it's been so good.